Hi, guys. So I wanted to take a quick moment and break down in closer detail what's going on for the next few days. So this week we're dealing with primarily creation myths. You see the middle folder on the screen. So the end result is we're analyzing and summarizing, plus trying to use a lens to discover the intention of the story. Okay. I have a PDF out on Schoology that is similar to the past demo that I showed, which outlines folk tales and fables. And any second now it's going to load up. Some of the material on this PDF is going to repeat word for word what I've already commented on, and I'll just skip over that information. We're almost there. Here we go. So, like I said before, right here we have the 4 different categories that we are concentrating on in class. Again, parable, fable, and folktales we covered in the previous demo. In this particular one today, I have the category of myth. All 4 of these are based on oral tradition of storytelling. Each generation basically memorizes material, passes on to the next generation, who memorizes it and passes it on, so forth and so. Now, all 4 of those genres are teaching a lesson. They're doing it in a slightly different fashion, but for the most part, they're all teaching a lesson. They're all defining a people's culture. Okay? And basically what it comes down to, you're relating a system of morality or an ethical code. Okay? Now, in particular with myth, if you look at the modern definition of the word, it means falsehood or untruth or lie. I'm using a secondary definition, which basically means religious teaching. With that logic, it basically means the same thing as the pagan stories are similar in expectations and in the way they approach society are the same as with modern religions. They both are conceived of as a truth, as an explanation, as I say down here, to explain the unexplainable. So I don't mean to be sounding negative towards modern religion, nor do I want to sound like I'm promoting the pagan thought. All I'm saying is that they're both on the basis of a religious teaching, and the people and the culture that supported that teaching believed and honored and revered those stories. And basically what it comes down to, the first category here in blue, it says how the universe was created. That in itself is, that bullet point is the manner in which most civilizations produce their myths, is to explain how their known universe develops. Likewise, there's a formula provided on how gods and goddesses interact with humanity. This bottom category here, how some heroes become worshipped as gods, that should be blue as well. I'll fix that later. But what this is getting at, some stories start out with a mortal hero, and he goes through some elaborate adventures, and this proves his worthyhood to be a deity, and he's welcomed into the pantheon of the heavens. The Greeks have more than, like, they have 2 or 3 myth cycles, they're called, of particular heroes. Heracles is one, Hermes is one, Dionysus is another. Okay, so these are the myth defined. Okay, so what you do with that information that's been provided to you, what I want the next step in the folder called Creation Myths. In here are a wide range of cultural myths. So I have some from North America. The first two are from North America, or from the Americas. Then I got the Eastern world, Japan. We've got the Western concept of the King James Version of the Bible, an African myth, uh, an element from Quran, and a Hindu hymn, and then something from the Hebrew Bible. Just select any one of these at random. You will be breaking it down and answering questions for the next 3 days, basically, preparing for a cumulative assignment on Friday. Okay? So at your leisure, just pick anyone you want to work with. For this afternoon, there are 3 questions I want you to focus on. As you're reading, focus on what was the creation process that's detailed in the story. What are the intentions of the higher beings? What are their desires for this creation process? What materials are being used for this process? Number 2, where does humanity fit in the equation? Depending on the myth, sometimes humans are secondary. They're not even a part of the thought process. They're an accident. In some cases, humans are the main point of the creation process. Okay, so just in your text that you've selected, review how humanity fits into this creation process. Finally, examine the text and determine, is there a protagonist? Is there a specifically named figure that can be seen as a hero or as the main divine source? Okay, so sometimes the protagonist will be the divine element. Sometimes it's just an animal spirit. Sometimes it is a human. So you're looking at the focus of the story, of the passage that you have, and determining if the protagonist is a human, a spirit, or a divine element. Okay, so these are not paragraph responses. These are just 2 or 3 sentences breaking down your observations of the text. Okay, these will come in handy in the next few days, like I say right here. Okay, so that is for Tuesday. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes. I can't imagine it taking longer than 20 minutes. But if you do have questions, by all means, you can still post me some questions and we'll see how I can help you get through the story. In particular, if you pick the Rig Veda, the Hindu hymn, that may be a little too abstract for your liking, but if you are up for a challenge, just let me know and I can walk you through that. Okay? So as it is, be safe, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.